Okay, so let's say you're being asked to graph something, one of these absolute value functions. Okay, so y equals the absolute value of x plus 2. Right? You can start by just plotting points, so be careful. I would start by plotting, I would choose some negative values of x and some positive values of x. Start with, say, -3. Okay, so -3. I'm going to write this in function notation. I just prefer to do it like that. Y equals f of x. Okay, so f of -3, that's absolute value of -3 plus 2. The absolute value of -3 is 3, right? 3 plus 2 equals 5. Similarly, do f of -2. Plug in -2. The absolute value of -2 is 2, plus 2 is 4, and so far we have two ordered pairs, right? We have -3, 5, right? So -3 and 5, so something like that. So -3, 5. We have -2 and 4. Here's 4. So it's going to be sloppy because it's -2, 4. -1. So -1 would just be 3. So we'd have 3 about right here. So you see you're going to have something like that. It's going to be straight coming down like that. Right? So then for 0, so what I have -1, 3, f of 0, it's 2. Okay, so 2 right now. Now, I know this is really sloppy, but it's 4 in the morning. F of 1, 3, right? Plug in 1. This is easy. This is easy. You get it. F of 2 is 4. F of 3 is 5. Right? So we got 0 and 2 right there. Right? 0 and 2. 1 and 3. So 1 and 3. And so you know what this is going to look like. It's going to be a V shape. So we'll just because it kept plotting it, you know, here's another one of them. There's what, 2 and 4 right here. And then there's another one here. It's 3 and 5. Right? Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Just remember how to do the absolute value thing here. And if you do that correctly, it'll come out as in this V shape. If it's not a V shape, then you know something's wrong, because it's always going to be a V shape when it's an absolute value. Another thing that you might see is a function where they'll give you something inside the absolute value sign. Let's say f of x equals the absolute value of x plus 1 plus 2, say. Let's get rid of the plus 2 for now, because I don't want to make this more difficult to graph than it has to be on a whiteboard. Pretty much it's the same procedure, just put in points. Let's say f of negative, start with just negative 2. And so that's going to be the absolute value of negative 2 plus 1. But keep in mind that you're actually adding this inside the absolute value sign. So it's negative 2 plus 1, which is equal to the absolute value of negative 1, which is equal to 1. Okay? So you have negative 2 comma 1 as a point on that graph. So I'm going to erase this plot. Okay, so negative 2 comma 1. Negative 1. So you plug in negative 1, you get 0. When you plug in 0, you get 0 plus 1, the absolute value of 1, that's 1. When you plug in 1, you get 2. Yeah, so then you would plot those. And so negative 2 and 1, that's about here, right? Negative 1 and 0, it's about here. 0 and 1, that's going to be here. 1 and 2, well, something else in that. 1 and 2. I guess that'll be here and, yeah. Okay, so yeah, that's right. And so, yeah, so what you have here is, okay, and that. Of course, if you kept going, it would just be a line going that way and then a line going that way. Okay, pretty simple, pretty straightforward.